Hi, I'm Becky from YourModernFamily.com, and today I just wanted to talk to you about the importance of comprehension when your children are reading. We have 4 children that are 7, 5, 3, and 1, and I was also an elementary school teacher. I taught kindergarten, first, and second grade, and I'm a play therapist now, so I still work with children. But I just wanted to talk to you about comprehension because this is a really important skill, and a lot of my friends are dealing with this right now, including myself, with our children that are being tested. And we know that they can read really well, but they're not moving on to the next book level because they're not telling their teachers what happened in the story. And this is about understanding what you read, which is comprehension. So I'm going to give you a few tricks for helping your child with comprehension. So the first is, before you read a story, you're going to want to do a picture walk with your child. So you're just going to look at the book, you're going to talk about what they see, they're going to do it, they're going to tell you, I see a picture of a pig sliding down the sliding board, and oh, here I see a picture of the pig having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Here I see a picture of, and so they're just going to walk you through, literally do a picture walk, walking through looking at the pictures of the book, and they're going to tell you what they see and what they think is going to happen based on the pictures. That's important. So the second thing is, when they're reading the story, they're going to, if it's a short book, I like to have our kids read it 3 times. And the reason for this is because the first time they're reading it to figure out the words, the second time they're reading it to sort of understand what's going on, and the third time I like them to read it to practice their fluency, which is how quickly they can read a story. You want them to be able to read it relatively quickly. If they're reading it very slow, sounding on every word, then that book's a little bit too hard for them. But our older son is now reading chapter books, so I'm not going to have him read each book 3 times. I have him read the chapter 1 time, and then we talk about it. So after you've read a book, if it's a small one, or a chapter of a chapter book, you're going to want to ask them what happened in the story. So I like our son to give us specifics. I usually pick a number in my head, and I want him to make sure that he can hit that number. So he would tell me, say, 7 things that happened in the story. And it has to be specific. It can't just be they had fun. I mean, it has to be they went skiing with their friends and he was wearing a red coat or something like that. And those things are important. And after they tell me some things that happened in the story, I ask them to tell me what happened in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. And before I move on, let me say that you can do this with your children that aren't reading. You can read to your younger children and have them answer these same questions. This is really important for when they move on to grade school. So anyways, I'm going to ask them what happened in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story, just like that. Tell me what happened in the beginning of the story. And they're going to tell me. Tell me what happened in the middle of the story. Tell me what happened at the end of the story. Once we've completed that, I'm going to ask them to tell me what the problem was and what the solution was. So what's the conflict, the problem in the story? What were they trying to do? And then at the end, how did they solve this? The last thing that I'm going to do with them is to ask them, what does this story remind you of? This is where I have trouble. Our older son always just says, I don't know. And that's not acceptable. Your child's teacher will not accept that as an answer. They will just be seen as not knowing it. That's what that says to them, is, well, this child can't relate what they've read to their real life, and they need to relate them. So when they ask them that, your child needs to have an answer. And I've talked to our son about this. It's not okay to say, I don't know. You have to have an answer. So I would just say that, what does this story remind you of? And they would give me specifics. This story reminded me of when I went skiing with my friends, and I got on the ski ride, and it was fun, or ski lift, and it was fun. And you really need them to relate that back to something specific like that. So that's all. I hope that those things help you a little bit, because like I said, I know that all of my friends are going through this right now. It's the time for testing, and school's back in session, and they're trying to find out where your child is on their reading level, and this is important. If they don't understand a book, they're not going to get to move on to the next reading level, even if they understand how to read it. So I hope this helped. And visit me at YourModernFamily.com, and feel free to email me at YourModernFamily@gmail.com, or message me on Facebook, and it's the same thing, just Facebook.com/YourModernFamily with a capital Y. And I would be glad to help. So, all right, thanks. Bye.